Ms. Diehouse has figured out how to use Zoom. She's here. I can hear her. I can see her. We had the hearing last week and determined that this was a just cause termination. And the defendant was willing to pay the back rent and said the check was in the mail. Also, I'd note Casey Villa, the manager, is here, and Mr. Kromendijk and I discussed the discrepancy or the issue between a just cause termination and a failure to pay rent. And each one has its problems, but the proper way, I think, to do it is a just cause termination, which is what this is. Mr. Kromendijk, what's the status here today?
So the check that was we talked about last week as being in the mail has not arrived, at least not based on the ledger yet. The current balance that I'm showing is $2,453.72. And that includes $250.10 of court costs. So at this point, while I understand the check is in the mail, I think what we do is request a judgment. But my understanding is we would still, if we receive that check, we could not move forward with enforcing that judgment and requesting a writ.
Ms. Diehouse, they haven't received any check. What can you tell us about that?
I did get in contact with the bank yesterday, and they told me that they sent it out last Friday night. That's what the bank told me.
Which bank?
Omni.
Ms. Villa, you have any input on this?
Pardon?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. We have not received it in the mail as well. I am in contact with the owner who's supposed to receive the payment, but received it yet, unfortunately.
All right, Ms. Diehouse, the park has the discretion. Well, first I'm going to tell you how this works. I find after hearing that you have not established that the plaintiff does not have a right to recover possession of the site. You have 90 days to move, 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. You also have 10 days to appeal this, which is on the backside. 10 days from today is the 18th of May. They do have the discretion to not move forward. If you do pay the rent, they have the authority to dismiss this and simply accept the rent and get back to square one. There's a money judgment in here as well for $2,156.95, $250.10 in court costs. So the total amount owed through May is $2,407. If you pay that, they don't have to go forward with the termination. And they've indicated if you pay it, they're willing to accept it. So I'm not sure why it would take a week to get from.
No, I don't know. I don't understand that either.
All right, well, I would get with them and I'd stay in contact with your manager. Otherwise, you may have to move out in 10 days and then 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. And I'm going to issue a money judgment in the amount stated. So $2,407.05. How much is the check for?
$2,183.66.
Well, you have to pay the entire amount. The amount due is $2,407.
Now, my question is, Is that even including this month's rent?
It includes May's rent.
Okay. Because as far as I know, my check went on through for the, for this month's rent, which was 402.95.
Anybody
Yeah,
have any
I
input?
do see that a payment went through on the 1st for the $402.95.
Okay.
So that does include that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on for them to get the other amount.
And so
Very good. Now, bear in mind, you need to pay the whole thing.
Judge,
Yes?
the number that I have, I'm not sure. I think we submitted an updated judgment. And I think the one that you're looking at may have been the previous one from our first hearing. If we haven't submitted this, I can get it to you right away. But the updated judgment.
I've been gone for 2 days, and the landlord tenant clerk has been gone for a couple days. So
Okay.
it may. What does the updated judgment show?
The updated numbers are, and I'm just reading based on the blanks on the money judgment portion here. Damages are $1,910.26. Costs are $250.10 for a total of $2,160.36.
2,160.36. Well, she's very close. Yes, I don't know where it is. If you would send me an updated one to 3B Civil, we'll find it. And so you owe 2,160.96. Excuse me, 36. That's very close to what your check is. It's about $42 off.
Yes.
Well, and just to be clear, that is the prorated, right? That would be the prorated money judgment through today, I believe, right?
Not through the whole month of May?
Correct. Through the entire month of May is a little bit more than that.
Well, then we're trying to hit a moving target. Give me through the month of May.
Through the entire month of May is $2,453.72.
That's what you gave me before.
Oh, is that the exact number we had before?
254372. But that included the 250.
Yep, that includes the court costs. I can back those out a minute if you want me to.
So the numbers don't exactly match. I'd like the judgment through May.
Through the entire month of May.
Yes.
Okay, we can do that.
All right, Ms. Diehouse. They're gonna check with Miss Via. The check may come today. There's gonna be a shortfall of a couple $100 that you're going to need to make up, and then they can dismiss the case. But you need to stay in contact with your manager.
Okay, not a problem.
All right, very good. I'm glad you were able to do Zoom.
Yeah, so am I.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You have
All
a
right.
great day.
All right, Miss Via, I'm sure you're looking for that check.
Yes, sir.
Let's see, I may have people in waiting room. Don't seem to. All right, Golden Pond versus Campus. Campos, they are not here. That was our 840 case. Also a termination of tenancy for just cause with a money judgment. What I see in that case, Mr. Cromendike, is $1,299.77, $315 in costs for a total of $1,614.97 as a money judgment. Has anything changed on that?
Yes. We're very close, but the correct numbers should be $1,356.44 in damages, $315.20 in costs, for a total of $1,671.64. And I will submit an updated judgment with those numbers on it.
I'll tell you what, I'll just scratch this one out, 13564.
1356.44. Costs remain the
Yeah.
same at $315.20. And so the total balance is $1,671.64.
Is that through today?
That is through the end of the month.
All right. I find by default that the plaintiff has a right to recover the mobile home site. Defendant has 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell a mobile home. The appeal date is also 10 days from today, which would be May 18th. Ms. Villa, are they still there?
That's correct, sir.
All right, I'm surprised they aren't here, but they were here last time. They certainly knew what the deal was. All right, well, we managed to finish everything by 9, so we can start the rest of our docket. I know you've got a busy morning. We made it work out. I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, it is almost 9. Our 9 o'clock case is Amy Klein versus Kara Klein, and I don't see Kara Klein. And then we have Fenrick versus Harris. Amy Klein, can you hear me? You need to unmute your mic. And Ms. Beals, would you come in too, please?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can, thank you.
Okay.
Ms. Beals, what case are you here on?
Beals versus Lake LLV, Washburn.
All right, yeah, that's set in a few minutes, so you're in the right place.
Alrighty, thank you very much.
I'll let the clock tick for a minute to see if Kara Klein does appear.
Okay. Okay.
Ms. Klein, who owns this property?
Me and my sister and I do.
All right, so you're one of the owners. You can represent yourself. I didn't know if it was still in your father's estate or something. But
It's been transferred.
all right, very good. Good morning. I'm checking for a Kara Klein. Yes. Or anyone for landlord tenant. Also looking for Rachel Harris. Yes. All right, thank you. Bye. It is 9 o'clock. The first matter is Amy Klein versus Kara Klein. This is a property at 601 Myrtle Avenue in Sturgis. Amy Klein is present. There is no lease. The tenant, defendant, Kara Klein, moved in with her father, who had been allowed to live there by his brother. According to the letter that's part of the file, she is listed as an unauthorized occupant, and the landlord, Amy, wants her to move. She was personally served with this notice, and in such case, she is subject to being defaulted. So she has 10 days to move. 10 days from today is May 18th. Ms. Klein, if she does not move, you can come to the court and bring $15 and ask for a writ of eviction. That's where the sheriff comes and physically puts her out of the property.
Okay.
No money judgment is entered at this time. She also has 10 days to appeal this, which would be May 18th. I'd ask you to stay with me for a few minutes in case she rolls in late, which is not at all uncommon. But when we say something is set for 9 o'clock, it's set for 9 o'clock. So right now, she's subject to default. She has 10 days to move, or she's subject to being evicted. If she does not move, you come to the courthouse, ask for the writ of eviction, and the sheriff, his agent, will put her out of the house. So stick with me for a minute. We have Harris is set for 9:10. I'm going to let the clock tick for a minute, see who else comes in, so I don't have to read the advice of rights multiple times. Miss Beals is here, and she's certainly entitled to get that. Miss Klein, do you believe that she is still there?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Does her father also want her out?
Yes, he does.
Let me check something. She's set to be here on a criminal case May 20th on a charge of trespass. They get a lot of these with homeless people. She's set for an arraignment on a trespass charge for May 20th, which is a way out. But there do not appear to be any open warrants for her arrest. The part where we sit around and wait. If she's not here in 5 minutes, Ms. Klein, I'm going to go ahead and release you and let the default stand.
Okay.
5 minutes. we try to do all of our landlord tenant hearings remotely because we are courtroom challenged. But we do allow people to come in live and have like real life court, but no one is coming in. We have 4 courts and only 2 courtrooms while the court is undergoing construction. We lost both courtrooms in the old building. So we're doing the best we can, but we could do this remotely from the courtroom. So Ms. Beals, I appreciate you being here in a timely manner. And if no one shows up at 9:10, I'm going to go ahead and read you your tenant rights and release Ms. Klein. I expect Ms. Yancey to be here any minute. Here's Ms. Yancey. Good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
We're sitting here watching the clock tick while we wait for the appointed time. Our first case was, well, we took care of 2 cases before 9, then we had a default, and then we've got your 2 cases, and neither of your tenants are here.
Your Honor, just so you know, my apartment manager could not be here today, so Ms. Finnerman will not be here.
All right, we should be all right. Ms. Klein, it doesn't appear she's gonna be here, so I'm gonna release you again.
Okay.
After time has passed, after May 18th, you come to the courthouse, bring $15 and ask for a writ of eviction. She's quasi-homeless. That trespass is what also happens with homeless people. So I think she's in and out of there. And, but you and her father want her out of there. So again, after that, you can ask for the writ. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, it is 9:10, and I called for this client already. This is Fenrick versus Harris. The file number is 26705 LT. It is a non-payment of rent case. Christine Yancey is here on behalf of the plaintiff. Ms. Yancey, what's the status here? You did send me a proposed judgment showing rent at $2,470. Is that still accurate?
It is, Your Honor. There have been no payments since I sent that summary sheet over on Wednesday.
And I greatly appreciate those. They make things go so much faster. You started it, and several others. Lance Thornton does them. John Bush always did them.
Well, we can thank Judge McManus for that form because he put me on the spot every time about wanting to know the specifics of every single breakdown. So I started doing a cheat sheet for myself.
Sometimes I have attorneys come in and they have like a deer in it, like, how much is the rent? And like, what? Yes, it's not so much to ask. So this rent is $650 rent, $40 late fee. Rent went up. It is actually $850 for April, late fee, $850 for May, late fee. Attorney costs of $188.85. So this is subject to default. Without Miss Finnerman, we don't have a way to know whether they're actually there or not. But
Both
we
of
do
ours
know.
are still in their apartments.
All right. Here is Rachel Harris. She's late to her own party. Miss Harris, can you hear me? Rachel Harris, could you turn your camera on and unmute your mic? We have such a struggle with this. Now we're going to get a walking tour. Looks like a car caught fire. Miss Harris, can you hear me?
Yes, I
All right,
can.
you're doing the best you can. You're late, but I can hear you and see you. And
I was
so
trying to
we're,
sign in. I didn't have an ID number.
all right, well, you're here now. Title of this case is Finrick LLC versus Rachel Harris and any other occupants. Ms. Harris is here, Ms. Beals is here. Ms. Harris, you're a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. The case is called Finrick 3 LLC versus Rachel Harris, as I said. The file number is 26705 LT. Your landlord wants you to pay the rent or move out.
Correct.
I'm going to bring in our next person. Ms. Hughes, good morning. Are you Brittany Hughes, now known as Brittany Poling?
Yeah.
All right, good morning. This is Judge Middleton. Your case is next, but I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to tell everybody. You are a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. Your landlord has asked you to pay the rent or move. As such, you're entitled to hire a lawyer. You're entitled to have a lawyer. You're entitled to hire one. If you cannot afford one, you can see if legal aid would be available to represent you. Legal aid is not here with us today. They usually are. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County, where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at this first appearance or file a written demand within 5 days. Pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives it for your inability to pay it. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Community Action Agency, Neighborhood Inc., or if you're a veteran, you may be eligible to get emergency funding. There may also be other sources of emergency housing funding, like the United Way or the Salvation Army or some other places people seek assistance from. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are sufficient. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested in that, the court could help set that up. If you can reach an agreement with the landlord, that means the case would get dismissed by a conditional order of dismissal. Attorney Yancey could prepare that conditional order of dismissal. We're about 6 minutes behind, but all things considered, it's not too bad. Ms. Harris,
Yes, Your Honor.
your landlord says you owe $2,470 in rent and $188.85 in court costs for a total of $2,658.85. What do you say to that?
I agree to that because I'm 2 months behind rent because of medical condition, which is
Have
not
you
fair.
asked for any emergency help?
I did, Your Honor. I had the eviction notice for court of $890. I had applied for the SCR form and DHS.
All right, well, the law requires that I adjourn this matter at least 7 days, which would take us to next Friday, to give you time to do that. What's this one?
And I also did start work. I'm in training right now for Adapt, and I'll be starting, I believe, next week for Walmart for the overnight shift for remodeling.
Your Honor,
Christine.
next Friday, I'm at the probate seminar. Is there any availability on Monday, the 18th?
Yes, I know that seminar is very important to a lot of you. It's a big one. You get a little extra time, Ms. Harris. Oh, the 18th is packed. How about 2?
That's fine. Whatever time on Monday is fine, Your Honor.
Monday, May 18th at 2:15.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Harris, we're going to continue this matter for 10 days to Monday, the 18th. I want you to stay in contact with your manager.
I know I have
And
a 3-day paycheck coming next week. And then after that'll be 40 hours after that.
anything you pay that will apply to your arrearage. You have to pay the whole thing to cure this, otherwise they could ask for a writ of eviction. If
Okay.
you don't, if they get what they ask for, I would give you 10 days from May 18th, which would be May 28th, to either pay the rent or move out. But we'll revisit this by Zoom next week from Monday, May 18th at 2:15 p.m. Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you at that time.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ms. Poling, you're kind of in the same circumstance. You were Brittany Hughes. Your name, is it Hughes or Poling?
It's legally polling.
All right. Again, your landlord contends that your rent is in arrears, $3,195 plus other money of $443.93 plus court costs, total of $3,801 through May. What's your position?
I've been trying to work to get it, or most of it at least. I have $500 right now that I could pay today. But I got sick. I had COVID from work, and then my wife got COVID, so we were both off work for almost a month.
All right. Now I've got a case set for the 18th. With Crystal polling. She's the plaintiff in that case, so I guess I don't need to. All right, so your plan is to try to catch up on the rent?
Yeah.
Where do you work?
I work at Lake House Assisted Living.
Say that again?
Lake House Assisted Living.
Okay.
And Mary, after you want to talk, you're here. That's all that matters.
Well, I'm going to continue this to the 18th of May, Monday, May 18th, 2026. We'll call it. What time did I set the other one for?
Not put the mirror. We still have the mirror.
I'm going to set it for 2:20. Christine, does that work for you?
Yes, it does, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, same thing. Stay in contact with your manager, and anything you can pay will be applied to the shortfall. The rent is $3,195. They've got unpaid utilities for March, April, and May, and court costs of $160. So somehow the utilities are not in your name and your landlord's paying the utilities. But $500 would make a dent on this. And the only thing that actually cures it is paying the entire amount. So we'll revisit this 10 days from now, May 18th at 2:20 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you in 10 days. Thank you, Christine. Your pleadings are always a blessing.
Thank you. We'll see you next Monday.
Okay. Well, the esteemed Sarah Reed has joined us for the Beals case. And good morning, Ms. Reed.
Good morning, Your Honor.
I have advised Brooke Beals of her rights as a tenant. Brooke, I didn't ask you, is Stephen Beals also there?
He is not here. He has to work. He gets up at 2 a.m. for work every day.
Oof, I get up at 5 a.m. and that's bad enough. All right. This one, I'm a little confused. It's filed as a non-payment of rent case. There, I couldn't find a lease, but it's allegation that the rent is $635 per month. Now, are you renting the lot and the trailer?
Correct. So I believe it's like $10.95 a month.
So you're renting the lot and then purchasing the trailer?
I was planning on it, yes, sir.
All right, well, they allege that the rent is $635 per month. So this is a little unusual. Miss Reed, what's the status here?
Thank you, Your Honor. So so the rent is, the $635 is basically the lot rent, and then there's a flat water and sewer charge that's the same for everybody of $35, and then the Beals have a $25 pet rental fee, so that those three figures come to $635. And I think it's a lease with option to purchase, so they're basically renting the home until when and if they exercise the option in the future, and that rental payment is $510. If it's easier for Your Honor, we can submit an amended complaint to just indicate that the proper monthly rental rate should be, I don't know if that $635 and $510 is, yeah, the $1145. I'm not sure if that's what Ms. Beals.
She said $1195. If you did submit a complaint, I didn't get it. The landlord tenant.
Yeah, I apologize. I didn't mean to say that we did. I'm just, I can submit an amended complaint and.
All right, that would help.
Great, if that's.
Well, how much the claim is due and owing?
Your Honor, at this time, exclusive of the court costs, it's $35.85. So that's about 3 months of rent.
All right, well, give me the rent.
Sure. You'd think I'd know better than to have this ready by now. The rent, Your Honor, is $3,435.
Through May?
Yes. Yeah.
And what are the court costs?
The court costs are, it looks like 265.08.
255.08.
265, I'm sorry.
65. I'm having a little trouble hearing you. What's the total?
So the total, I've got $150 in late fees as well, that I didn't include in the rent figure that I gave to your honor. So if I add in the late fees, then we come to a total of $3,850.08.
All right, Miss Beals, they claim that you and your husband are 35.85 behind in rent and late fees and 265.08 in court costs. Through May, they claim you owe $3,850. That's why I appreciate Miss Yancey's breakdown so much, and the others that do it makes it easier to
I'll try to remember
comprehend.
to do that for next time. I apologize.
But Ms. Beals, do you have a plan to pay this? Have you asked for any emergency assistance?
So I have not. So my husband is from California. That is where my stepdaughter resides. That is where his mother and all of his family reside. We just recently got information that his mother does not have very long to live. And just 3 weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago, we just found out that my stepdaughter might have cancer. So we have to move back to California.
Well, so do you plan to move?
Correct. But we need a little time.
All right, well, you're gonna get some time. The law says I have to adjourn this at least 7 days. That would take us to next Friday, which would be the 15th. Excuse me, the 15th. Then you'd get 10 more days from that day, which would give you until May 25th.
Yeah.
So let's see, I don't think you're set, Bayless is set for anything this week. But no. Miss Reed, are you available at 10:45 on May 15th? All right, Miss Beals, I would suggest that you stay in contact with your manager. They may be willing to give you till the end of the month to vacate, but we're going to adjourn this 7 days, which will be next Friday, the 15th. Then you get 10 more days from that date, and they may be willing to give you to the end of the month. You might inquire about that from the landlord. But we're going to be here next month, Friday, a week from today at 10:45. You did a good job of zooming in. You were on time. You were actually early. I appreciate that. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
No, he could be taken into custody. Have the call a bailiff. He has other problems other than this. Give me a moment, folks. We have a walk-in who failed to appear on a felony case. And it's always a damn nuisance when they show up and you're supposed to drop everything else you're doing.
Good morning, Your
I'm going to appoint Jay Felt to represent him. He already has a pending bench warrant.
Uh-oh.
So has
Judge, go.
No, he can be arrested. He has $1,382 worth of unpaid fines and costs. He made no contact whatsoever with his attorney, and he can get picked up on the bench warrant. So let security know he needs to be taken into custody. All right. And then we'll appoint Mr. Felt to represent him. All right. Thank you. Give me a
Judge,
that's your punishment.
Judge Boyle appointed Dick Wade, Justin Jack appointed Dick Wade to a murder case.
I remember that story. Judge Boyle and Dick Wade did not like each other. And he, at that time, Andrew, there was no contract.
Yeah.
When somebody got charged with a crime, Judge Boyle would just appoint somebody, which is how Bill Marks and others got stuck with cases they got stuck with.
Right.
I did try a case with Dick Wade on my very first day as a licensed attorney. Mr. Wade was a very fine lawyer in Three Rivers. He'd be well over 100 if he were still alive. Anyway, we've got some more landlord-tenant cases to address. Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. Learn.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I saw you last night. You guys have been stalwarts for years now. I've got Erica Watkins and Pedro Pedroza. I've got Amber Wadsworth's video, but who am I actually speaking with?
Roger Gibson, Your Honor.
What's your name?
Gibson.
He can go to jail. We'll see the magistrate this afternoon. I'm not very happy with Mr. McNett. He should have contacted his lawyer before, and he should have contacted him now, rather than just roll in on a Friday morning. So he can go, and then the magistrate will see him this afternoon and deal with those other issues. All right.
Hey, Andy.
Hey, Jay.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right.
All right. I'm not sure who I've got.
Judge, if it makes it easier, I don't think Nyla Earhart is going to be here on my case.
All right, well, let's see where we are here. At 9:30, Ms. Rognus's case is Martin Andrade versus Erica Watson. Erica Watson is present. He's also here on Learn Investments, and I don't see Jamie Risty anywhere.
We had that one last week, and she's actually moved out of the property, and you
We'll address that in a minute.
Yeah,
then we've got
that one knocked out.
Smith versus Palmentier and Federal National Mortgage versus Castle and others. Mr. Gibson, I don't know what case you're here on. Which case are you here for?
It would be Golden Pond versus, it's a tenant landlord case.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I got off work at 3 a.m. this morning. I kind of overslept. My alarm didn't go off. My phone was bugging out this morning.
You have 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell a mobile home. You don't show up for an 8:40 hearing at 9:40. We already had the hearing an hour ago.
So, I've been staying.
We'll do you last. We'll take care of the people that actually showed up on time. And we'll come back to yours. All right, Erica Watson is present, and we're going to take a minute and advise her of her rights. Miss Watson, you are here as a tenant in a landlord-tenant proceeding. Now, also listed as Pedro Pedroza, and he's there also?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is filed as a non-payment of rent case. Your landlord is asking you to either pay the rent or vacate. If in such a case, you have a right to be represented by a lawyer. And hire a lawyer. Mr. Gibson, I want to put you in the waiting room. You're making me dizzy. You have a right to hire a lawyer. If you can't afford a lawyer, you can see if legal aid would be willing to represent you, or you could seek other legal representation. You have the right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You have a right to demand a jury trial. Somebody just did that. If you wish to have a jury trial, you must tell the court at the first appearance or be willing to file the demand within 5 days in writing and pay the $50 jury demand fee unless the judge waives the fee for your inability to pay it. You may be eligible to get emergency financial assistance from the Department of Health and Human Services, Community Action Agency, Neighborhood Inc., Veteran Services, or other possible funding sources. We sent that information to you with the original packet. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint are sufficient. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through dispute resolution. If both parties are interested in that, we can help set it up. Thank you. Or can possibly reach an agreement with the landlord that would result in the filing of what's known as a conditional order of dismissal. Mr. Rognus, this is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. What is the current arrearage?
Current arrearage, Your Honor, as of today's date is $3,850. That's at $200 a week. And there are costs totaling $234.20, which puts a total of $4,084.20.
Right. Somebody else.
Mr. Pedroza, what's your position?
Can you hear me, Your Honor? I don't even know who the gentleman is that filed these papers. This isn't the man who rented me the home. One man showed up not even 30 days or 30 days ago, and the next morning 2 men show up to tell me it's under new ownership and asking me about $800. And then when am I getting my taxes? And the person that rent me the home, and I know Lauren Howard. I tried to reach out to Lauren Howard. I even asked if she was okay. I haven't heard back. I did get in contact with this lawyer. He hung up on me because I don't know where these numbers are coming from. Because I don't even know these people. And I did send a message that said I didn't want to be in the middle. I have too many health problems and I have small kids. I don't know what's going on. This is Paul's house as far as I knew. He raised his family here. I don't know. I don't know Martin. I don't know that guy.
Who is Paul?
He's the one that's lived in this house and raised his family and rented the house to me. He used to work for Lauren Howard, and then he had a heart attack, and they had some kind of Paul Munson. I have paperwork for you. Unfortunately, my brake pad literally from the inside disintegrated, broke yesterday, day before.
Do you pay rent?
So we have, yes, but this house is not up to code. So we have a deal that we have been working on the house, and when we fix things, obviously it's taken off. That is why the the code inspector, I don't know, is that what they're called? They've been here twice. They've seen a lot of improvements we've made. I have receipts, like a lot of receipts. And me and Paul had a deal. Sorry.
Answer my question. Do you pay rent? Is there a monthly rental?
Yes.
All right, what is it?
It's $800 a month. That's what my agreement has been.
All right, who is that agreement with?
Paul Munson.
All right,
He's not
well,
listed on any of the, yeah.
all right, he apparently never owned the house and doesn't own it now. So did you ever have a written lease with Mr. Paul Munson?
No, but he was the one that was looking out for Lauren Howard. He worked for her 15 years. He sat in her courtroom while she was there one day. Like she's older. I'm actually concerned where she is at this point. I know her, and I've even asked if she's okay, and I haven't heard a response.
She's an old friend of Mr. Feltz, and former client.
Is she okay? Like, I'm not even joking at this point because
I don't know how she's doing. This is out in Mr. Felt's neighborhood. No, this is actually in the village of White Pigeon.
and I said I'd move. I would move. Sorry.
You moved?
No, I told them the first week in a text message, which I have as part of the paperwork, that I do not know what's going on. I have not seen any proper paperwork from any of them that they work for Lauren or who they are. And that I'm sick and I have 2 kids. I can't do this back and forth, and I would clean up and start packing and looking for another place. And within 30 days, I was served with these papers of telling him that, which I don't understand because I said I would leave. Now, I have broken windows upstairs in my kids' room.
Stop. All right, that's probably a good plan. Someone else, Mr. Andrade, bought this property and he is now the owner.
He's the manager, Your Honor.
He's the manager?
Property manager.
Lauren Howard owns it.
So she still owns it?
Correct.
Yep, it's in a trust.
Mr. Rognus, can you shed any more light on this?
Well, Mr. Andrade is the property manager for Lauren Howard, whose trust owns this property. And this is a circumstance where there's been no payment for quite some period of time, and it's finally run its course. It's, pay up or move out.
As I said, I told him about.
All right, now, you're gonna have some time. The law requires we adjourn this matter at least 7 days. You may also seek some advice from legal aid. You're living in this house, there's no lease, rent isn't being paid, it's probably not up to code. If this was in the city of Three Rivers or Sturgis, it is in the village of White Pigeon, so it may not even be rentable.
Nope, it's not. We had a deal.
All right, then probably the best course of action you could pursue is to get out of there. But
yes,
let's adjourn this for 7 days, which would take us to the 15th. They would give you 10 additional days from that day to vacate or be subject to being evicted.
Now, can I ask a question about all the receipts and how windows need replaced? And when I asked about it, I was told, if you don't like it, there's apartments around the corner. You know how much those are. I have pictures of all of this, and they brought me to court saying I owe money, and I don't know where they got those numbers from. I don't even know that guy. I never paid him rent once or made a deal. He just showed up here. Why would I just give a stranger money?
I guess I don't disagree, but the way Lauren Howard always did things was writing something on the back of a napkin and
I never seen nothing. They didn't even show me that. Yes, I know her. I was her bookkeeper, so I understand what you're saying. Yes, I know how she does things too, but they didn't show me that. I asked for something.
All right, well, so what do you want? Do you want to stay there and pay rent?
No, I'm moving. No, I'm going to move out because I don't want to be in the middle of this. I do have a lot of health issues. I have kids in school and they do it online. I told the gentleman I would move, I don't know why he filed the papers with you because I have started packing, but it's a big house. I've been here 5 years.
I want you to move faster than you wish to move. So we're going to continue this to Friday, May 15th.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
if we'll get a judgment today, we'll give her until May 26th, the day after Memorial Day, to move out.
Can you move out by May 26th?
I'm going to DHS to talk to them actually about the emergency housing because I talked to them and I couldn't apply for housing assistance because that's fraud. I don't know that man and I don't owe that money, and that's what they told me.
All right, well, let's continue this to May 15th at 11 o'clock. You might want to talk to legal aid regarding this.
I have.
The property is not up to code. It's probably not even rentable. They've got a new manager and they've hired Mr. Rognes. So Mr. Rognes is representing the Lauren Howard Trust. You have no written lease. There's some guy named Paul who's not in the equation anymore. There's some theoretical offset of rent for repairs. You'd have a hard time figuring out how much it is you owe. If you move, you don't automatically owe any money. They can apply a security deposit, unpaid rent, utilities, and other damage. But I wouldn't order that you pay money until we have a hearing regarding money damages. So
yeah, we've fixed a lot of things. We haven't damaged, we've improved it.
I don't probably doubt that, but you may wish to get better housing. So we'll address this further next Friday at 11 o'clock. Okay?
All right, Your Honor. Thank you.
See you then. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Felt is saying, I'm glad I didn't take that case. Let's take up the Learns versus Jamie Risty, file 26685LT. Andrew Rognes is here, Monroe and Vicky Learn are here, and Jamie Risty is not. Mr. Rognes, you indicated she's vacated.
Quite some time ago, Your Honor.
This is the one she was going to pay with a settlement or something and then never did.
Yeah, and it never come to fruition. And it's one of those things where she left the window open so the feral cats were coming in and out. Well, I guess I don't know they were feral, but they were at least not housed cats. And she left out food for the cats, and the cats would come in the window. And the heat was going full blast all the time over the winter. And I think last time you said that we could get immediate possession.
I would, yes. All right, so it's filed as a non-payment of rent. The rent was north of $10,000. So what do we put in the judgment through May?
11,817. And then costs are 173.80.
What's the total?
Oh, geez. You would ask me that.
Oh, I thought you just do it in your head.
Yeah, right. That ain't gonna happen.
1,882.17. I have a new handy dandy calculator. 173.80. I lost my old calculator in the move. $12,055.97. The date for the writ is 10 days from today, which would be the 18th of May. He may put on the property line. If defendant has vacated, plaintiff may take immediate possession.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, send me a judgment and I'll sign it.
I think you should have one.
I was looking for one and I couldn't find it, so let me dig a little deeper.
We'll resend it again. Okay? It's probably was in there about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Probably the week before mine. But I will get
Well, let
another.
me keep looking here. I haven't gotten to the bottom. No, Elaine's not here to ask, but I don't.
I will get one to you.
You usually do send one. Let me look. This will be my 4th time going through here.
And it's a stack, believe me.
No, if you'd send me a judgment, Mr. and Mrs. Learn, if she indicated you may take immediate possession of the property.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Fell, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Judge.
This is Miles Smith as personal representative versus Nyla Sue Palmentier Earhart. I have someone here as Apple's iPhone. Who's that? Who's Apple's iPhone? Could you join us, please? Apple's iPhone. It could be anybody.
Judge, my client looks like she's out and he didn't expect her here.
All right, what can you tell me about your case?
I just emailed you a judgment about an hour ago, so I apologize for that delay. Do you want to kind of like a here's?
Well, this is filed as a termination of tenancy. We don't have personal service. We have service by attachment.
Yeah.
We don't have a separate mailing, so we're gonna have to adjourn this.
I think Bruce.
Do you believe they're gone?
He almost completely.
So you believe the tenant is not there?
Yes, we were hoping, Judge, today.
Well, Jay, we're gonna have to adjourn this for 7 days because we don't have personal service.
Sure.
So how about if we go to
As soon as convenient.
next Friday at 11:10?
That's fine. Thank you.
All right, and then at that point, I can do a default, and if they have vacated, I may grant immediate possession. Two more people have come into the waiting room. Let's see who we've got here. Apple's iPhone and Alexander Sarhan. I still haven't figured out whose Apple's iPhone is. All right, they're in the back. Good morning. You've logged in as Apple's iPhone. What's your actual name?
Tracy Cole and Florida.
Which case are you here on?
I'm on case 2619 TC.
Tracy Cole. Tracy Cole?
Yeah.
All right.
With Shermetta Law Group.
I will be with you in a moment. Mr. Felton, you're good to go. I'll see you next Friday at 11:10. Mr. Gibson, would you come back, please?
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. We're working on it.
Hello, Your Honor.
All right, we return to Golden Pond Estates versus Francis Campos and Roger Gibson. Mr. Gibson showed up an hour late for his hearing, and we'd already entered a default judgment. Mr. Gibson made a finding that you have 10 days to move and 90 days to move or sell the mobile home. Your rent arrearage is $1,356.44 with $315 in court costs for a total of $1,671.64. You have 10 days to move to set this judgment aside because you overslept through the hearing. What I would suggest is you go in and talk to the manager, Ms. Villa. If you can pay the rent, they may allow you to continue to stay there. Otherwise, 10 days to get out of the mobile home and 90 days to move it or sell it. All right, we don't wait around for an hour to see whether the people are going to show up for their hearing. We were done a long time before you got here. 10 days to move to set it aside. If you can pay the rent, maybe they'll allow you to stay. So I suggest you contact Ms. Villa, the manager there, discuss this with her. I'll send you a copy.
Staying in contact with them, Your Honor. I have just a quick question for you. I've noticed on the app, like when I go on the
Stop. Sit down. You're making me dizzy. You're walking around. I'm gonna fall out of my chair with vertigo.
Sorry, my stress levels are high, Your Honor.
All right. What is your question?
So I've noticed on like when they charge a late fee, it varies every month. It's different. 1 month it's 60, 1 month it's 50. How is it varying every month from $50 to $60 for a late fee? And then when I do pay my rent and the card, I've noticed the credit card charges have went up as well, like from $5 to like $14 now.
To discuss this was an hour and a half ago when your hearing was set, not now ex parte where the other side isn't here. So if you want to move to set the default aside, you can do that. I would suggest that you talk to the landlord or they're going to seek to evict you after 10 days. If you want to move to set it aside, you can do that. You have to show good cause. I'm not sure sleeping through the hearing is good cause. You have to show a meritorious defense. So I'd start with the manager. Thank you all for your patience. We were supposed to do that a while ago. All right, we've got $10 is our LVNV funding case, but first I'm going to do federal national mortgage. Laura, I don't have the 10 o'clock general civil case. Mr. Chevernak, are you here on federal mortgage?
Yes, I am, Your Honor. Good morning.
Excuse me, Judge Middleton, I hate to butt in. It's Attorney Alexander Sarhan on the 10 o'clock general civil matter. Case ending in 2619 LVNV versus Tracy Cole.
Yes. Laura, don't go away. Yes.
I thought I heard you say you didn't have a 10 o'clock civil.
No, I have a hearing. I don't have the file.
I apologize.
I have it on my docket and I don't have the actual file. So we're going to deal with this foreclosure action. I need that LVNV funding case. I think it's probably in the cabinet. I've been gone for a couple days at a conference and came back this morning, hit the ground running. Anyway, let's deal with Mr. Chevernack, and then we'll clear the decks. This is Federal National Mortgage versus Natalie Castle, Daniel Castle, and all occupants at Dud Road. Seems like we've had some dealings with this case also. It's filed as a demand for possession after a foreclosure sale. And the parties are not present. Properties were all served by attachment. And I'm looking to see whether we have a second mailing here. Yes, we do. Mr. Chevernack, what's your position?
Your Honor, given the second mailing and the fact that defendants did not appear today, we're requesting the default judgment of possession be entered today after this foreclosure action. Sheriff's sale was back last year on May 22nd, and there was a 6-month redemption period that expired in November of 25. No redemption was made in that time.
All right, I notice you're requesting a default. You do have a second mailing. I don't believe I have a judgment. Plaintiff may have possession of the property 10 days from today. That'd be May 18th. And if you would email me a default judgment, I would sign it and they can try to get this property back.
Very good. I will email it into Your Honor.
All right, that notice, that address is on the notice, but it's 3B civil at stjosephcounty.gov.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that leaves us with our general civil matter, which was set for 10. Actually, I have 2 general civil matters. One did not appear on the docket. Oh, I have Discover Bank. That would be you, Ms. Sheely?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sheehy, thank you. That's regarding Eduardo Garcia. He's not here. We have LVND Funding versus Tracy Cole, and she is here. So this is a motion for summary disposition. Ms. Sheehy will take up the case where the client is here, in case your client comes rolling in late, like the last dude who showed up an hour late for a hearing. All right, this is entitled LVNV Funding versus Tracy Cole. Ms. Cole is here. The file number is 2619GC. Alexander Sarhan is here for the plaintiff. This is a claim for $2,916.95 plus cost, interest, and attorney fees. Once the defendant got sued, she sent a letter, which we accepted as an answer. I am working with Freedom Debt Relief to resolve this debt. I will notify plaintiff of this by mail. Mr. Sarhan, have you heard anything from Freedom Debt Relief?
Your Honor, we actually have a resolution in this matter, and happened in the past few days. And if I may update the court, the parties have agreed to a settlement. The funds have been received. I sent a stipulation to dismiss to Ms. Cole, who has returned it. I've since countersigned and prepared to send it to the court. So if it's all right with you, again, just letting you know we have resolved it. A stipulation to dismiss is signed and ready to be emailed to the court for your signature.
That would be acceptable. Ms. Cole, is that acceptable to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. What was the settlement amount?
The settlement amount was $2,200.
And that has been received?
Correct. It was a lump sum payment posted on May the 7th.
Very good. All right, Ms. Cole, does he have your permission to indicate you agree with that and submit that judgment by email?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, very good. The email address, once again, is 3bcivil@stjosephcountymi.gov.
Very good, Your Honor. Thank you for your time. We'll get that to you shortly. Ms. Cole, thank you.
All right, that's why I'm here. Thank you, and thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so the next matter is Discover Bank. Ms. Cole, I'll remove you from here. She's gone. Versus Eduardo Garcia. This is a motion to reinstate a judgment after it was dismissed for no progress. Plaintiff has provided an order reinstating case and consent judgment. Ricardo Garcia is not here. Attorney Kelly Sheehy is here. Ms. Sheehy, what are the circumstances here?
This is a year old now. We filed a complaint seeking a money judgment for defaulted credit card. At a pretrial conference about a year ago today, the parties did agree to a consent judgment for the full balance plus court costs, where the defendant was going to pay $100 a week. The defendant gave permission to Jeff Beers at the time, who I'm standing in for today, on the record to sign defendant's name to it, and Jeff was meant to submit that consent judgment to the court. Since the date of that consent judgment, defendant did make payments towards the judgment. He made $1,020 worth of payments, which left a current balance of $1,523.57. Due to clerical error, plaintiff's office has failed to send that order to the court, and the court did dismiss the matter for lack of progress. We are just seeking that the consent judgment be reinstated and entered in the amount.
Well, what you presented shows 1,523.
Yep.
Damages. It does make a sense. Which is less 1,020.
Yep.
Plus interest at 13%. So what you told me is 1,523.57 is the amount.
Yes, Your
I thought
Honor.
you said 523.
Oh no, sorry. So then, just to summarize, we are seeking consent judgment for $1,523.57, which represents the damages minus the payments made plus the court costs.
All right, I'll sign it. The defendant is not here to object.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry if I misspoke on those numbers.
Well, I'm having trouble hearing you, but I think we got it on the right page. That's what the order says.
Yep, there's a little bit of feedback, but.
All right, very good. Mr. Garcia owes that amount, 13% interest. Is not anybody's friend except the lender. All right, I've reinstated the order, and you can proceed accordingly.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
All right, everybody's telling me that. I guess maybe I better try to do that.
Hopefully you can head home.
All right. Well, that was a bit of a herky-jerky morning, but we did get through it. I'm going to stop the record. We're going to shift gears every minute to criminal cases.